Frankenstein is, without a doubt, one of the greatest books ever written. And yet National Theatre turned it into one of the most boring plays I have ever seen. How is that even possible? To my disappointment, not only is it possible, but they managed it. It was so boring, so incredibly dull and slow that I almost gave up watching it. When I finally coerced myself into doing it, it was in bite-sized pieces over the course of a week. That is not good. I saw it on YouTube where that is possible, but in a live theatre that is not an option. For once, I am glad I didn't see the show in person, and that never happens to me. Never. But anyway, enough ranting and more explaining. The first 15 minutes is the creature, played by Benedict Cumberbatch in the version I saw, learning to walk on his own. Now this has potential, but this is the first time we are introduced to his character. Therefore, we cannot be invested in him and his journey. It is great acting from Cumberbatch, but not interesting, because as an audience we are not emotionally invested. So it just drags on. And on. I suppose they did it to humanise the creature, but it goes on for far too long. In another version of this play I watched, this took less than half the time, but it was still done successfully. A lot of time spent on someone walking does not make a realistic character. So, after this horrible opening, we have a random steampunk song, because apparently this is a musical now. And it exists purely to show how cool the set is. It tries to make up for the opening, but it just doesn't work. If you want to focus on the nitty-gritty human acting, going all realistic and in-depth about humanity, do that. If you want to make it a musical, do that. But don't try do both, because it just comes out as unfocused, cluttered, and messy. Because of the length of the first scene and the existence of the second scene, the next scene with the blind old man is rushed. The emotion was there, but it went by too fast to see. The raw emotion should be seen in the line, "What have I done?" from the old man, but like the plot, it is rushed over. To make up for that rushed emotion, they then add in another scene, similar to the random steampunk song, where the creature is dancing in his dream. It's a lazy way of showing his goal, and it's out of nowhere, and I genuinely thought that there was a glitch in the video I was watching. And so, because I was trying to figure out what was happening the entire time, the emotion was lost. The play seems to try following the creature through his experience, which is why we start with him. However, that means we miss a lot of things. Frankenstein should be developed before the death of his brother. Instead, we just hear about him from other characters. Then he comes out of nowhere, and it's supposed to be a big moment, but it's not, because nobody cares. We don't even know how the creature knows Frankenstein is his creator. He just does. And so when they meet for the first time, where it should be rife with emotion, it is empty and dull. They just shout their lines, move like the character they are trying to be, and go. Frankenstein's brother is dead because of his own creation. This should be a big moment, but the best he can say is, "You've read Paradise Lost?" Then they fight, and then who cares? Nobody cares. Is another steampunk song coming soon? Dream dance moment? I hope so. Now, this has not been a criticism of the acting, but rather of the poor writing and directing and creative choices. However, if there is one thing I have to say about the acting, it is that it is too good. Yes, that's right, it is too good. Benedict Cumberbatch is so good with his creature voice, sounding like someone who's just learnt to speak, that there's no emotion conveyed through what he says. He is too good of an actor. He moves like the character and talks like him. He pretty much is Frankenstein's monster, but he just isn't. It's like Frankenstein said, this thing shouldn't be alive, it shouldn't be feeling, so it can either be realistic or emotional, and it chooses realistic. I'm fine with that decision, but go all the way. Cut the songs, cut the dances. In fact, that makes me think they don't go all the way with any of their decisions. Have the play from the perspective of the creature? Sure, except when we need to build suspense as to whether he's killed William. Then he's nowhere to be seen. Then we follow Frankenstein. That is the problem with this show. It wants to be everything for everyone, and therefore pleases no one. In my opinion, this is an okay show to give a miss.